Right, we are live.
Hi, this is Amy Novakuski, the CEO and founder of Ginger Snap Works. And Ginger Snap Works is a boutique social media and marketing consultancy, and I help awesome, amazing people like Rachel and Hayley take their businesses online and achieve their business goals with really smart social media and marketing. I'm super crazy excited today to have my not only two rock stars, but two of my favorite clients online with me today. We're going to talk just a little bit about what they did in 2014 that was so phenomenal for them and what interesting things they're going to cook up in 2015. And along the way, we're going to give you some mindset tips and other pointers so that you can create a badass 2014. So let me introduce the two badasses I have today. Rachel Feldman and Hayley Hobson are here with me. They're both phenomenal business coaches and phenomenal health coaches. So Rachel, why don't you give us like your little spiel about who you are?
Oh God. So my name is Rachel Feldman. I am the proud owner of rachelswellness.com. I also have detox.rachelswellness.com. Pretty much in a nutshell, I am a health coach. A lot of people know that I am a mama on a mission, but I also help entrepreneurs just like myself. I help health coaches to pretty much build the business of their dreams with done-for-you programs, but I also have a thriving health coach practice, which a lot of health coaches think is not frickin' possible. And I also am a doTERRA lover. I never thought that I would incorporate oils, but my son got really sick last year, and I found pretty much oils and completely geeked out on them. So in a nutshell, pretty much what I do is I rock pretty much every day my business to manifest what I know is possible in this world, not only for myself, but for clients and other health and wellness professionals.
That's awesome. Awesome. And I think you're such a great partner with Hayley Hobson on this webinar. Hayley, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. My name is Hayley Hobson, and I actually started off my professional career as a bankruptcy attorney. Imagine that. And I decided about 5 years into the practice of law, no offense to any of you lawyers out there, that I just didn't want to practice law anymore. And I wanted to go with my heart, with my passion. And back then, my passion was actually helping other people achieve a level of optimum fitness in their life and optimum health by managing pain in their body as well. So I became a yoga and a Pilates expert, and I taught one-on-one sessions and classes and teacher trainings for about 15 years. And then I also wanted to fit that momtrepreneur into my life as well. I had a young child a few years ago, and I realized that the lifestyle that I was leading, even though I loved serving other people, was still feeling like I was tying myself to a ball and chain in terms of having to work by the hour, let's say, and that my salary was maxed out. And to be honest, I wanted to kick butt, and I really wanted to start making more than my husband was making. So I went back to school. I got a board-certified health coaching degree like Rachel. We met actually at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, online actually. And I also incorporated essential oils into my business as a means first of just bringing a residual income stream into an already existing business. But it blew up. It went viral because we all know that the world is on fire trying to heal themselves naturally. And I took my business online as well for the first year by myself, and then I brought Amy in, and she's helped me a lot over the last year. And so now I am a health coach and a business coach and a mindset coach and a momtrepreneur extraordinaire.
Awesome, guys. One of the things that really impresses me about both of you individually is mindset, right? You both have this, like your own version of kick butt, take names, and get done what you need to get done. So, and I firmly believe that that is the thing that is necessary to be successful in business. A business coach once told me, you remember that Bozo the Clown thing, right? The little blow-up doll, and you punch it, it falls over, and it pops back up, right? It's mindset that allows you to get back up after you've been knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for you guys just to spend a few minutes talking about like mindset and what it means to you and how you help your clients create a mindset that's actually going to have them be successful in business.
You want me to go first, Hayley?
Yeah, sure.
Or Amy?
Yeah, go for it.
I think we could talk about this forever, and I was actually just talking about this today, and I talk about this all the time. I mean, one, Haley and I have talked about this being athletes even as little kids. I think, Haley, you swam competitively too, correct?
Yeah.
We have like a lot of mirror stuff, both of us. And, I think mindset just in life, and whether you're a health coach or I sold real estate and, Haley was in law, like no matter what you want to do in life, whether it's as a business owner, but especially an entrepreneur, it's like you have to know your why. And I think when you start a business, and especially when you want to help people, knowing your why and knowing that, for me, it's knowing that I want to help people, but it had to go deeper than that. It's like knowing that I want to help people and not see people who are sick, not see people who were in the situation that I was, where I was going in and out of doctor's offices for, even from my first ulcer when I was 14, being told, well, you just have inflammation. Well, it's like, why? Well, you just do. And then that led to a myriad of many different health issues. We can save the gory details because stuff, or SHIT, got bad, and then it got really bad. And then you add on just my personality of go get them until I drop, and then I birthed babies. And, the long story short is that the mindset of saying, okay, I want to go out and create a business. Well, the mindset of even if something fails and you say, you know what, that failed. Okay, well, let me try and do it a different way. Let me try and go and, not listen to the negative Nelly, not listen to the fear, not listen, but still tap into the why. Well, that deeper of I want to help people. And then when we also lost all of our money in kind of the stock market, that feeling of I can't hire a coach, I can't go to a business school, I don't know how to build my business, that feeling and that pain of coaches not knowing what to do was a deep why for me to say, let me develop, materials for coaches who don't know what to do. So tapping into your why and having that mindset of I can do this even if I stumble is a lot of the mindset that I develop each day, and a lot of the mindset of Tony Robbins or athletes of just, this may be uncomfy and painful, but I have to do it anyway because I know why I'm doing this.
Rachel, what are some tips? Hold on a second, Haley. What are some tips or tricks that people can use to really stay connected to their why?
I say this all the time. I've had to put myself on Facebook timeouts a lot, especially in this really techie world, of not comparing yourself to somebody else and thinking that they've got it all figured out, because it can appear that someone's got it all figured out. That's number one. Number two is have a vision board, or have those 4 to 5 YouTube videos that you watch every morning that takes you back to reminding yourself, like, there's a reason Tony Robbins has like huge workshops and seminars all about fear. Mindset is saying, fear is a 4-letter word. So it's either face everything and run, or face everything and not recover, but it's like really just do it. Just go for it. I may, feel like I'm going to die, but you're not. So the tips is really get into that morning ritual, whether it's exercise, whether it's having, your vision board. It's like everyone's got fear. So the only difference between someone who has success and someone who doesn't is that self-talk where you say, okay, this feels like I'm not going to be able to do it, but I can.
Right. That's awesome. Haley, do you want to talk for a few minutes about mindset?
Yeah, I think that what Rachel said is really right on with the why. I mean, I think that all of us need to figure out what really speaks to our inner heart, right? So when I did some work on my why a couple years ago, some of the reasons were similar to Rachel. I wanted to feel good because I grew up with a lifestyle of inflammation or lifetime of inflammation in my gut as well, and had a ton of pain and in and out of doctor's offices my whole life. So part of my why was wanting to feel better, but part of my why was also really wanting to kick butt financially. I mean, I felt like I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted to do at the drop of a hat. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I have a friend who's really in a lot of pain right now. She has her back went out, and it's gone out several times in the last couple of weeks. And I called her up the other day, and I said, hey, do you want me to fly out? What do you need? I can go grocery shopping for you. Like, having to, the money and the time frame to be able to hop on a plane and do something like that for somebody else because they need it was a huge why for me. Being able to, pay off our mortgage and set aside money for our kids' education so that we never had to worry about whether we could afford to buy organic apples or not organic apples was like a huge, huge why for me. But the other thing that I really want to talk about is I want to talk about our belief system, because I think that the fear that Rachel talks about also relates back to how much we believe. And I think that a lot of our belief, or most of our belief in the beginning, has to be with ourself. Now, I grew up with parents who really believed in me. And I know that not everybody is that fortunate. My parents believed that I could get straight A's. My parents believed that I could be a top athlete. My parents believed that I could get into the best colleges, that I could make honor roll. And I did it because they believed in me. So I never had these fears that I see a lot of people having as I come into contact with more and more people. So what I try to do with people is work around, why are they having this fear, or why don't they believe in themselves? Because I believe that not believing in ourselves is actually circumstantial, right? We've had an experience that causes us not to believe, or that causes us to be afraid. So I'll give you an example. I'm not afraid to go out there and be rejected by people. I'm not afraid to go out there and fail. I'm not afraid to go out there and tell myself I deserve to make money. But I am afraid of certain things like falling down, right? I've had some nasty, nasty accidents on my bike when I used to race as a triathlete, on my snowboard when I first started learning how to snowboard. And I'm actually really afraid of getting injured, like to the point where I'm sort of a whip. Like, you wouldn't know about it, right? Like, my husband's always yelling at me, like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, walk up this rock, you're not going to fall down, right? But that is a belief system that I have that's tied to a realistic event or series of events that has happened. So some people's belief systems are tied to their parents not believing in them. Or like Rachel said, everything falling apart in the stock market, or having a job that they thought was their future and it falling apart, or losing somebody in their family, a child, a relative, a parent, right? So we have these fears that are based on real life events. So how can we get over them? For me, I just have to keep getting on my snowboard, right? I have to keep getting on my bike. I have to keep walking up places that are high so that I'm not afraid of heights. And I do it because I know that I believe in myself and I can. And I think that that is one of the most important, I would say, ways that I have gotten my business to where it's been over the last couple years when I decided to switch gears, is there aren't a lot of people that could have done what I did because they didn't believe in themselves.
Right.
But if they did, and they said to themselves every single day, I can do this, I deserve to be happy, I deserve the time freedom, I deserve the flexibility in my schedule, I deserve to be able to spend time with my children, walk them to the bus stop, go to their school play, pick them up from school, take them to gymnastics or whatever activities they have. I deserve to be able to buy a pair of jeans that's $200 if I want them, right? Or get a manicure and a pedicure, or hop on a plane and go on vacation because my husband and I need 2 days alone together. We as women deserve those kinds of things. And when you believe in that, when you change your mindset, you can make anything happen.
And I think that's for those two reasons, the mindset and the belief system is why it's so important to have mentors and role models in business. Like, nobody's taught us really how to be business women, right? We've sort of had to figure it out for ourselves. And one of my coaches said to me once, like, look at the history of running. For thousands of years, nobody could run faster than 4-minute miles. Like, nobody could break that 4-minute mark. But the second one individual broke the 4-minute mile, all of a sudden everyone else could do it. So I think if you're out there and you're like really struggling, like, how can I make 6 figures in my business, or I can't make sales calls, look to your mentors and see how they're doing it, because if they did it, you can too. So the two of you have had crazy, amazing, phenomenal 2014s. What's the baddest ass thing you did this year?
God, I honestly, I would say I don't know if it's one. I mean, as Haley was talking, I was thinking about the many conversations that she and I have had from the moment that we've talked, and we've always said that for both of us, we've always wanted financial freedom. And from financial freedom comes emotional freedom, and from emotional freedom comes extra time with our family. But with that, you have to put in hard work, and I don't say that you have to slave to anything. Hard work means, being able to then get that freedom. And I think as women, that's something we're not taught. And I think when you think about mentors, we're not taught, like, you know what, go out and get what you want. It's such this like thing that women struggle with. So it's like, no, you can have it all, actually.
Yeah,
Lean in. Like,
yeah, I think moms get a double whammy of that too.
Yeah.
I think as women, we kind of hold ourselves back, but then the second you become a mom, you've got this other life out there. So, that's one of the things that's remarkable about the two of you is you're really out there creating the lives that you want, and being great moms and business owners at the same time.
Well, and so when I think about 2014 and I think about it, it's almost like making the decisions each day to say, is this good for me? What is going to take my business to the next level? And so it's actually, and what's going to give me more freedom, because that's what I want. And so when I think about even my business as a health coach, it was like, okay, any smart business person, whether you had Bill Gates here or any other, business person, they would say passive income, active income. Whether you had Coca-Cola, like sitting here in this conversation, any smart business person says, I need multiple streams of income. So for me, it was sitting there and I said, okay, let me look at the economy. Let me look at my family. I support my family. What's a smart move? And I said, I have my health coaching. I have passive income from, programs, done through programs I've created. I love them. This is great. Now I want to add another stream of income because it aligned with my heart. And that was really a decision. I've used oils my whole life. And I actually went to Haley, who had said to me for many years, like, dude, sign up with doTERRA. This so aligns with you. And I was like, no, I don't do that stuff. And like I said, my son ended up getting sick despite all the stuff that we do. Probiotics, we could list what I do in my house. But that would be like a whole nother day. And so I decided I'm going to look at every oil company and I'm going to sit there and decide. And so making a decision that aligned with my heart, which is key, because that's the mindset. Your mindset goes into the trash can, and your business goes into the trash can if you don't make decisions that align with your heart and that work. So I would say this year for me was what works for my business, what support do I need, what passive and active, incomes can I really have, and how do they all work in a way that is cohesive, that really matches in overall branding, really matches my personality. So I would say, like, the badass moves that I made this year were really looking at what needed to be detoxed from my business, what needed to not be there, what needed to go, and what needed to be brought in. And that consistently, I ask that every day.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I think if you get in the habit of asking yourself, does this move me forward or not? And if it doesn't meet that test, don't do it. That's great. Haley, what about you? You were like a total rock star this year. What's the baddest ass thing that you did this year?
Well, probably the baddest ass thing I did was go on a presidential diamond with doTERRA in 14 months, which has been like a world company record, and hitting double diamond now after 25 months with the company. But I think in my head, the way that I did that was all about creating relationships with people. I think that in order to have a business, especially a business that you're growing online, or any business, really, it's all about networking. It's all about relationships. And when we can spend time developing those relationships with people, whether they're people that we're bringing into our business or whether they're people that we want to cultivate and connect with that are already in our business, I think that's pretty badass, because I have so many new relationships in my life right now from all over the world that I'm super, super excited about. It's like sometimes I feel like, geez, we can't find anybody local here to go out to dinner with, but if I got on a plane, I could fly out to like hundreds of different people that I love in my world right now. And that's something that I really, really love. And I feel like, the way that I have moved my business forward is really just connection with people. And, I'll give you a couple of examples. I mean, I have, Rachel didn't want to do the business with me in the beginning. I mean, Rachel and I have probably known each other now for at least 2.5 years. And it wasn't until maybe about, 6 months ago that she finally decided to jump on board. But I think it was because of the relationship that we continued to have on each other. And it wasn't even intentional. That's the kind of person that I am. I meet people, I connect with them, and I want to continue those relationships. Relationships that I'm meeting with people every single day. So I was sitting on a plane flying home last night or 2 nights ago from Kansas City, and I've had these really bad allergies lately, so you can hear me sniffing in the background. So I pulled out all of my oils, right, in my kit, and I started putting them like on my hands and breathing them in. And within 2 seconds, 2 of the flight attendants ran over, and they were like, "Oh my God, what do you have? It smells so good." And I kind of blew it off at the beginning because I don't want to be that person who's like trying to sell something. I legitimately am sitting here sneezing and coughing and etc. But I wanted to develop this relationship with her because I actually heard a conversation that she was having with somebody in the row ahead of me that was super cool. And it was about manifesting money. It was about working on Christmas Day, which she had to do that day. It was about moving. It was about, projecting her life forward. So I started a conversation with her, and boom, I got her phone number, and I'm going to start a relationship with her. And whether or not she comes into my business or not, I don't care. It's about creating relationships with people. The relationships that I've created with other top leaders in this organization, in this team that aren't even on my own team, have been so, so fulfilling to me to have all of these new friends literally all over the world. That, I think, is badass.
That's pretty awesome. So we're like days away from New Year's, from 2015, right? If you had to give just one piece of advice about what is going to have you create a badass 2015, what would that be for both of you?
As Hayley was even talking, I was thinking about, there are some people that go out and seek out opportunities. And for me, I may have a different kind of approach in my business. Everything that has always happened in my business has come because I consistently every day have built it. There are some people that go out and seek. So when I think of opportunities that have come to me, like teaching at Hippocrates, or next week I go and I teach at the Raw Food Institute with Lisa Wilson. And, I think about this next year. To me, being badass is actually what you do daily. Like, you have to be actually badass daily. For some people, it's like, oh, I'm doing this sick-ass retreat in March, and they think of it only as like these pinnacle 4 things. Like, to have a business where you're not, no matter what you do, where you're not starving, and where you're consistently thriving is actually where you wake up every day. This is at least for me. And you think about planning your day every day, where you're doing manifesting, not only manifesting, but planning. What programs do I want to offer? What do I want to offer my health coaching? Who is my niche? What do they need? What am I lacking? What am I not communicating to them? And so for me, this next 2015 is really looking at my business and what do I want to offer to my clients? What do I want to create in my business? And so this next year is really, what do I want to put out there? And I think that is really about being badass. When I look at the people who I follow or who who are in my circle, it's always about really thinking about what is your next creation. To me, that's what really badass means. It's about being willing to get bare naked and actually say, you know what, I'm going to try this out. I don't know how it's going to go, but I have the deepest desire to go and do this and take a chance. And that's what I think, what Hayley was kind of talking about. It's like, I have a desire to go out and get what I believe I deserve to have. And so when somebody says to me, how did you hit silver? So, and I say to people, because I got on the phone with something that I believe, where people say, how did you create these done for you programs? Because I went and wrote them and I put them out there. Or how did you build a business that you thrive? Because I put in the work. And so when I, if I...
You actually did it. You actually
so
did.
When I tell people, what is my 2015 going to be like? It's going to be badass because I'm going to go and put in the work. And if people want to know what that's like, put yourself around other badass people. Because if you see something you desire, put yourself around those people.
I think that's a really great point. Like inside the whole manifesting conversation, there's wishing and then there's manifesting, and it's two separate worlds.
It's manifest and do.
Right. Right. So I know, Hayley, like you are big on having a daily action plan, and that the key to success is consistent daily action, right? So Hayley, what else can you do? What else is like a key thing that people can put in place to really create a badass 2015?
I mean, I don't really know how to say this other than, like Rachel said, to just do it. Like, I see so many people wishing things were going to happen and never actually doing the steps to make them happen. I often say to you, Amy, like, we got enough on our plate right now. No more, no more, no more. Let's just, like, give it a rest, right? Like, we decided, you and I, okay, we're going to do this social downline program, and then boom, 8 weeks later, the program was there, and we had 350 some people sign up for it, and then boom, we decided to do it again 2 months later, and then we had the same amount of people sign up for it. So, like, I know that if I decide to get something done, it's going to happen. I think that here we are, going back to this fear and not belief in ourselves again, of people actually making those steps happen to put something in action. Like, somebody approached me a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, I have this awesome idea. It's a book project, and I want you to help me put it together. I think you're the perfect person to gather all these people and make this project happen. And my first instinct was, I have a lot on my plate. And then I thought, you know what? I can make it happen. And here it is. The project is happening. This book is going to be published probably by March. And it wasn't that big a deal, right? It's like, it's getting those daily steps that you need to do. It's sending the emails that need to be sent. It's checking your social media. It's writing down your to-do list. It's checking off your to-do list. It's finding time alone, whether it's saying to your husband or partner, hey, I need an hour. Like, I just had to send all my kids and my husband away just now, just so that they would not make any noise on this call. It's negotiating with your family, right? It's putting your exercise schedule in your calendar so you actually get off your butt and you go do it, right? It's picking up the phone and it's texting or calling the people that you want to speak to get them to work with you or to make a project happen or get them into your business with you, right? It's all it is. It's not rocket science. All it is to have a kick-ass, badass year is to write down what you want and then make it happen. And remember that a lot of the reasons why it's not happening for you are either not making the time for it. That's a huge one, because look, everyone's busy and everybody will say, I don't have the time to do it. It's bullshit. We can all make time to do whatever we want to do, okay? So if you want to squeeze one more thing into your schedule, because trust me, I know that Rachel and I are two of like the busiest people in the world, and we still have time to hang out with our families and do the things that we love to do at home. Yeah, I'll admit, sometimes I got headsets on while I'm giving my 5-year-old a bath, but I'm still making it happen, right? So one is getting away from that mindset that you don't have the time and making the time, because I'll ask you guys something. If you're too busy now, are you going to be too busy 6 months from now? Are you going to be too busy a year from now? Are you going to be too busy 2 years from now or 5 years from now? And there's that project you've been wishing about or dreaming about that never friggin' happened because you couldn't find the time, right? And then the other one is, again, getting over it. Just saying to yourself, I can do this. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to make money. I am strong enough to put this project forward, whatever that project is going to be, and I am going to, with the time that I've now created, set an action plan into motion and achieve my goals.
That's awesome. So since you both are really big on like daily actions is what creates a badass year, what are some of the daily actions that you take that you must take? It's like a non-negotiable inside your calendar and inside your life that moves you and your business forward.
So one is that, similar to Haley, I mean, one, I have 4 whiteboards in my office. So I'm always clear on exactly the whiteboard that's an overall vision for what I call the semester. I look at 4 semesters almost like it's college. So I'm very clear on what's happening on semester. I'm very clear on like a Google Doc that's happening kind of for that semester in an Excel spreadsheet. Then I also have a list that's kind of for that day, what's happening, and I usually do that the night before. So I have a clear idea, and it doesn't mean that won't change. I think the biggest thing that we have to do as business owners is know that we have to be flexible within that change. Things come up, but in the morning, I know that, you know, I either have to blog, and that has to be on social media. I have to post on my personal page, and that post has to come from me. I think the biggest thing about being quote-unquote badass is that people have to get to know you. You can't be a health coach and post something from Whole Living magazine and say the benefits of cinnamon will be. Like, they might as well go buy a book. You know, people buy you. And when people say, you know, how do you fit it in? Well, wake up 30 minutes earlier. I mean, this is what Haley and I always talk about. It's like, you know, kind of my daily ritual is, yes, I do wake up very early. Naturally, I wake up early, but if you want to have a successful business, and, you know, we can kind of stop even saying the badass word. It's like, hey, just if you want to have a successful business, if you want somebody to not, if you don't want to go to a 9-to-5 job and you want to have a business and call yourself an entrepreneur, that means that you're going to have to wake up a little earlier. You may not go out to lunch, you know, in the middle of the day with friends, and you may be spending that putting into your business. So I know what I'm going to be doing that day. I know what is going to be dedicated to my work. I know what action steps I have to take, whether it's editing materials. I know what day, you know, is going to be strategy calls to get potential clients. I have my days planned out. And I think that's the biggest thing. No matter what business you own, you know what days are cold calls or what days are strategy calls. You have your days planned out because that makes you successful.
Right.
You know, it's a plan, and it's a plan that's flexible. But if you don't keep to your to-do list and make them enjoyable in a way, otherwise you feel bogged down. But just get off your ass and do it.
Yeah, when
it's going to do it for you.
Right. Whenever I have a coaching client that complains that they don't have enough time, I have them do a time audit. So they track everything they do and how much time it takes for like 3 days, and they're always shocked about how little work they actually do.
And how much time people waste, right? Like my husband and I, we were sitting down last night. We're like, wow, it's only 7 o'clock. We have no plans. If we put Madeline to bed really early, like we could watch a movie, right? And here's what happened. He put her in the tub. I turned on the TV to wait for him to, like 2 feet away to get her ready. I got sucked into Dateline, and then here we were 2 hours later, both engrossed in Dateline. She still wasn't asleep, and I was about to fall asleep, and the movie never happened because we wasted 2 hours watching this murder. You know, so I think that we do all waste a ton of time, and like Rachel said, you know, I have my calendar that stays open on my computer all the time. Obviously, it's synced to my phone. I schedule everything. I schedule picking up my daughter at the bus stop. I kid you not, because I need that reminder to go off at 3:15, or 10 minutes before, telling me to get off your butt and go walk down the street a block, or I might forget, right? So I schedule every single thing I'm doing, every phone call, otherwise I'll double book, every single thing, so I'm blocking out time. And I think that when we can set these time goals for ourselves and know exactly what's going on in our day and how much time we need for things, we're less apt to waste time, right? I find that I never have enough time in the day, but I'm cruising all day long. I'm not wasting it during the day.
Yeah, and just to speak to that too, I just came back from Thailand I went for a little work vacation, right? And I had jet lag when I came back, and I realized I was getting up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I got more done by 9 o'clock because there's nobody else to talk to. Nothing interesting is happening on Facebook, right? So I got more work done in those 3 hours in the morning than I did throughout the rest of the day. So that's one of the things that I'm implementing for myself in 2015 is waking up earlier and really like attacking my to-do list first thing in the morning. So, like to wrap up, the final question that I wanted to ask you guys is what's up for you in 2015? You both have had a really like magical and amazing 2014. Like unbelievable things have happened for both of you. So give us a little teaser and a little taste of what you're creating for 2015.
I'm tearing down my website. Just really took a huge look at just my business and what works and what doesn't. So I'm revamping my programs, revamping my offerings, and which is really exciting. I think that, you know, every coach, every wellness professional, every fitness, I mean, no matter who you are in business, you should do this. So I'm coming out with programs I'm really excited about. For
what kind of programs? Give us a little taste.
So the Detox Mastermind and Business Bootcamp is going to be completely revamped, which is really exciting because the 60-minute master classes went well over 90 minutes, and the course material is going to expand extensively. So that's one thing. We are redefining the programs and probably going to come out maybe with a paleo program and redefining the doTERRA detox as well to make it supercharged. But redefining the Done For You programs for health coaches as well, as we always do. And then my own programs, I'm finally, after all these years, coming out with my own signature 6-week program, which is going to be exciting. And then just even the oils, I mean, you know, I was even thinking about this last 5 weeks, and I live in Florida, so always people think, oh, you don't get sick in Florida, but actually nothing dies in Florida because it doesn't get cold. So we have fought off six colds, and even my son had some funky junk in his eye the other day. So I was even telling Hayley the other day, I'm like, you know, the oils for me, like I love them so much that I even want to share them more. So just with not just wellness professionals, but just like moms who are sick and tired like I was of taking, like I don't want to pay a copay anymore. Let's just say that. Enough said. Like I don't ever want to pay a copay. But that's what's happening for me, and I think that's terribly exciting to be, you know, a wellness professional, but really just a mom. I mean, I think a mom who wants their clients to be healthy, wants as a health coach, as a detox specialist. And I think for the year ahead, I know for me, just really looking at my business as really not only empowering other wellness professionals to really get that they can have a business. I have a chart on my wall where everyone that I've ever talked to or coached that says to me they have spent 50,000 plus, I put a little like line almost, and I to date I have 150 lines where they said they've spent that and they're not coaching. So that makes me sick. So the fact that, you know, I've sold to date like 4,000 plus different programs to wellness professionals, and a lot of them have massive success. But then I've talked to so many coaches who don't, whether they've gone to IN or other schools. I want that to turn around, because what I see these days is kids who are coming into my practice who are on more medications than 80-year-olds that are in my practice. That's the epidemic we're facing. So for my 2015, not only do I want clients to feel better, but I want to have a massive change across the world for families, for other wellness professionals who feel like it's their duty and their birthright to help to wake up people on a national and worldwide basis.
Love it. Love it. Hayley, how about you? What are you going to create in 2015?
You know, with me, it's like you never know because stuff keeps creating itself as we go along. But I mean, to start off the year, we've got the social downline running in 2015 in January again, which is going to be a huge success again. And then we're going to create a Moms Summit and Moms Program in March or April, right? And that is going to be a program to really, we're going to bring a lot of other women into it. It's going to be a program where more badass women and entrepreneurs can teach other women and moms how to create a kick-ass business in 2015. I am writing this book or co-authoring this book that's going to be published this spring as well. And that is going to be an amazing book telling. It's a compilation of 30 different authors, 30 different women authors, amazing people, and they're all going to be giving their business and doTERRA and health experiences. So I'm really excited about that project. And then I am going to keep moving and grooving with doTERRA because I'm having so much fun in that business and making so much money right now that I definitely want to keep plugging forward with that. And one of the things that I love about that business is creating so many unbelievable leaders in that business because I love teaching other women how to be successful and how they can create something with this company and they can take charge of, as Rachel discussed, not only their own health, but the health of all of these other children on medication or whatever genre of people you're talking about. There are so many people to help these days, and everyone, all of us are capable of it. So I love empowering other women to set up their businesses and coach them and mentor them so they can be as successful as I have been in mine. So that's what I've got on my plate from now until probably mid-year so far, and then I'm sure we'll run the social downline again, and there might be another program that pops up towards the fall or the end of the year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so if you are a health coach and you're really frustrated with the amount of money you're not making inside your business, you need to contact Rachel. Rachel, how do people get in touch with you?
You can contact me at www.rachelswellness.com. You can check out the Done For You programs at www.detox.rachelswellness.com, or just like I'm sure all of us, send smoke signals. Go on social media, you know, Twitter, Facebook, everything, and I'm sure you'll find me, or even Google Rachel Feldman.
Awesome. And if you're out there and you're like, oh, I don't know how to start a business, you need to contact Hayley Hobson. Hayley, how do people get in touch with you?
You can contact me at HayleyHobson.com. And again, if you just put Hayley Hobson, that's with 2 Y's, by the way, Hayley, anywhere on your browser, I'm sure you'll come up with a million ways to find me on Google, on Facebook, Hayley Hobson Health Coach, on my Facebook page, on Twitter, on Pinterest. So I'm out there all over the place, and my website is HayleyHobson.com.
Guys, Rachel, Hayley, thank you so much for joining me for this little quick 2015 BadAss webinar.
I think we lost you, Amy. Although, yeah, BadAss, just time with Hayley and I. It was lots of fun. And if you need to contact us, Hayley and I love each other, and we want you guys to really have that business that you desire. You deserve it. Women deserve it. And the world needs you guys. So let's rock it out. And you see Amy frozen, but she loves you too. So
right. You guys have a wonderful end to your 2014. And you can definitely get in touch with us if you want us to help you create a badass 2015.
All right.
We'll see you online.